Yeah. So first, today today's class, I will start with by sharing applications of AI, how AI is useful in the farming sector, and how the company called Yield, it is an Australian-based company, and how they are using AI to build the technologies for the development in the agriculture sector, farming sector. So I am trying to present a video, and these applications are built based on the services provided by the Microsoft. So based on by using the Microsoft AI services, the Yield, it is a Australian-based company, are developing some AI-based solutions for the agriculture problems. So I'm going to present this video for 2 to 3 minutes. And so before loading the video, so I'm trying to tell the classification of the real-time problems. So students, so I said that AI or artificial intelligence is more popular because this can provide a solution for the real-time problems occurring in the various sectors, right? So real-time problems, it can provide a solution to solve the real-time problems. It will give the solutions for the real-time problems. Now, how these problems are classified? What are the different type of problems? How all these real-time problems can be classified? So these real-time problems which can be attempted, which can be solved by using the AI are classified into mainly 3 categories. The problems, real-time problems, which can be attempted, which can be solved, are classified into 3 categories. And those problems are called regression problem, classification problem, and clustering problem. Okay, so before loading this video, I'm trying to explain these things. Okay, so I said that the real-time problems which are attempted, which can be solved by using the artificial intelligence, can be classified as the real-time problems. Sorry. So real-time, maybe you are aware of it. So anyhow, it's my duty to explain again. What happened? So these real-time problems are real-time problems are classified into 3 categories. One is called regression problem, and second one is called classification problem, and third one is called clustering problem. So please try to concentrate well in today's class. So you will get a few questions in your final certification examination from this classification of the real-time problems, which can be solved by using the artificial intelligence. Then, okay. So maybe still it's loading. Fine. So, so what mean by the regression problem? What mean by the classification problem? What mean by the clustering problem? So regression problem means if you are going to develop a AI model, if you are going to develop a AI model or machine learning model to predict a variable, which is in a continuous number format, So such type of problems are called as the regression problem. Once again, I will repeat. If you want to build a AI model or machine learning model to predict a variable, to predict a parameter, which is in a continuous number format. Continuous number means it may be a 10 or 10.2, 10.5, 11, 12, 25, 1 lakh, 105, whatever it may be. It's a continuous number. So if you're going to predict a variable which is in the continuous number format, then such type of problems are called as the regression problem. Such type of problems are called as a regression problem. I hope you understand. So the variable which you are going to predict is a continuous number. So that is called as the regression problem. Now coming to the classification problem. So classification means the variable which you are going to predict as a distinct value, as a distinct class, not a continuous number. You can't get a value like 10.5, 10.6, 10.8 like that. It is a continuous number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Each number represents one class. Okay, so that is called a classification problem. So I will explain one by one. So classification means the variable which you are going to predict, the variable which you are going to estimate, that variable value is not a continuous number, it is like a discrete numbers, like 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. So such type of problems are called as the classification problem. Okay, so regression problem is a continuous number, where the classification problem is a distinct values. It is a distinct values, distinct class. I will explain what it may be. And later, clustering problem. So clustering problem are called as a grouping problems. Grouping problem means you have a thousand samples of data, and you want to split the data into the different groups. You want to split the data into the different groups. So for such type of problems, also solved by using the AI, and those problems are called as the clustering problems. Those problems are called as the clustering problems. In detail, I will explain, don't worry. So searching for this video. Yeah. Yes. So this video will share the how Yield, which is a farming technology developing company in Australia, how they are using the artificial intelligence in the farming sector. Just I want to share this video. It may create some inspiration for you to build some real-time applications.
Now, artificial intelligence helps us meet the needs of today, so we're prepared for tomorrow. By 2050, we need to produce 60% more food. So how are we going to feed the world without wrecking the planet? Using Microsoft artificial intelligence, we can reduce
They're using the Microsoft AI-based services
any grower
in the farming sector.
Every crop is different. We use Microsoft AI to make local predictions about
local predictions like light, rain, wind.
Know when to plant, irrigate, harvest. It's making a difference. Artificial intelligence helps farmers grow more while wasting less.
Once again, I will share this video.
Right now, artificial intelligence helps us meet the needs of today, so we're prepared for tomorrow. By 2050, we need to produce 60% more food. So how are we going to feed the world without wrecking the planet? Using Microsoft artificial intelligence, we can reduce waste and produce more food. Any grower will tell you every row, every crop is different. We use Microsoft AI to make local predictions about light, wind, rain. This helps farmers know when to plant, irrigate, harvest. It's making a difference. Artificial intelligence helps farmers grow more while wasting less.
So here we are also. Give me some time. Yeah, here we are also planning to build some a complete web application, so which can help the farmers from the crop selection stage to the marketing stage. So that is in our planning process. So waiting for some collaborations, especially more interested students who require, because they have to spend extra time, especially to collect the data from the various from the fields and also from the various sources. Actually, we have to, if you want to build an application related to the, for a problem in the agriculture sector, you must you must sit with the domain experts like agricultural scientists and agricultural faculty and agricultural students, and also you have to go to the field to collect the data. So for this type of problems, we need more interest, and we have to spend more time, and we require more patience also to work this type of problems. So we are looking for the candidates who have such an interest. So once we find it, we are trying to build some complete web application to help the farmers, especially at least in the Warangal region, from the crop selection stage to the marketing stage. So only I have shared this video for the how Microsoft AI can be useful in the AI sector, and how AI provide the solutions for the problems in the agriculture sector. So hope you understand it somewhat from this video. Now coming to our regular discussion. So once again, I want to repeat, students, slowly. I want to concentrate well here. So I said that there are many real-time problems in the various sectors can be solved by using the artificial intelligence, and how these problems are classified, how these problems are clustered. So all these real-time problems are grouping into three categories. One is called regression problem, another is called classification problem, another is called clustering problem. So regression problem means, so if you are going to predict a variable or a parameter which is a continuous number format, then such type of the range of the variable range also very large, and also to the continuous number format. This may be a 10, 10.5, 11.5, 1000, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, like that, any number. It may be very huge range, and also it is a continuous number. So if you are going to predict such type of parameters, that problem are called as the regression problem. So if you want to work on some AI project, first of all, you have to understand the problem statement very carefully. And you have to justify which type of problem it is, because based on the type of the problem, you have to choose corresponding machine learning model. So for that, so if you want to work on any AI project, first of all, you have to understand what is the business problem statement. After understanding the business problem statement, you have to identify this problem related to the regression problem, or the classification problem, or the clustering problem. Once you identify the type of the problem, later you have to go to the machine learning models, choosing the machine learning model. So I hope you understand the regression problem. Example for the regression problem is, suppose I want to forecast the temperature in the Warangal region. The temperature will be a continuous number format. It may be a 33 degree, 33.5 degree, 36 degree, 37 degree, 40 degree, 42 degree, or 40.3 degree. So whatever it may be, it's a continuous number. So such type of problems are called as the regression problem. Hope you understand what it. So you can take the wind speed prediction. So that maybe again the wind speed may be 23, 24, 23.5, 24.5, whatever it may be, the speed of the wind, that's a regular parameter, continuous parameter. So that is also comes under the regression problem. And if you want to predict the housing price, so that is also housing price, that may be 60,000, 50,000, 40,000, 70,000, 80,000, or 83,250 rupees. Lakhs. So 80 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 70 lakhs, or 70 lakhs, 50,000, whatever it may be, it's a continuous number. So such type of problems are called as the regression problems. Now coming to the classification. What is the classification? So now classification means there are two type of classifications are there. There are the two types. Again, the classification problems are further classified into two categories, and one is called as multiple classification problem. So multiple classification problem, and the second one is called binary classification problem. So what is the difference between the multiple classification problem and the binary classification problem? So binary classification problem means you have only two classes. So such type of problems are called the binary classification problem: 0 that may represent the no, and one that represent the S. So only two classes, S or no. Only two classes, 0 or 1, S or no. So such type of problems are called as the binary classification problem. So like if you want to build an application to diagnose the COVID based on the features like fever, blood oxygen levels, pulse rate, cold, cough, you want to diagnose whether the person has a COVID or not, yes or no. You have a COVID or not, yes or no, 0 or 1. So such type of problems are called as the binary classification problem. It has only two classes, yes or no, that's it. So such type of problems are called as the binary classification problem. Okay, hope you understand. Now, hope you understand what is the binary classification problem. And here multiple classification problem means you have the multiple classes. You have the multiple classes. That means, for example, I am telling let's assume our college management asking you to develop a AI model to predict which branch a student will get in the university based on some features like rank and his gender and his caste. So based on these parameters, your AI model able to predict which branch in our university that student will get. Let's assume let's assume intermediate, secondary, regular examinations are completed and MCET also completed. Let's assume they got the ranks also, and the students are waiting. They are very enthusiastic where they will get which seat they will get in the SR university, in which branch they will get in SR university, based on their rank, based on their gender, based on their caste. So which branch they will get. They have enthusiasm. Now the college management asking you to build some project, and they want to embed that web application into the SR University website, let's assume. So that website, that purpose of that application is once the student entered the his rank and his caste and his gender, so that application will tell him what is the probability for so which branch he will get, So what are the branches we have in our university? Let's assume we have in our university we have the CSE, we have ECE, and we have EEE, and we have mechanical, and we have civil. Let's assume. So once the student entered the rank and gender and caste, once submit button is there, then our application will suggest most probably which branch he will get, either ECE or EEE or CSE. It will suggest this branch you will get in SR University. So it is a multiple classification problem. It may be a CSE, or it may be a ECE, it may be a EEE, or it may be a mechanical, it may be a civil. So this is called as a multiple classification problem. So we have the multiple classes: CSE, ECE, EEE, mechanical, and civil. Where in the binary classification problem only two, yes or no. So that's the binary classification problem. But where in the multiple classification problem we have the number of multiple classes. You have to identify which class is fit for him. Okay, which branch is fit for him based on the data what he is feeding. So now, but actually your computer will not understand the words, right? It will understand the only numbers. So then you will give numbers. It is labeled as a numbers. It is a 0. CSE means 0, EC means 1, EEE means 2, mechanical means 3, civil means 4, like that. So it's a number. It's not a discrete number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any one number. Each number represents one branch. Each number will represent one class. In binary classification problem, we have the only two numbers, 0 and 1, no or S. Here, the numbers here, depending upon the number of classes your data consists. So that is the example for the multiple classification problem and the binary classification problem. Hope you understand the difference between the regression problem and the classification problem. After completing this session, so I will ask few questions. So please respond to the chat box. So out of 165, only 190 members have joined. Fine. If no interest, not a problem. But why I am somewhat disappointed is, if the number is less than 100 or 120, I can conduct the classes in the offline only. In the classroom, the seminar house can offer 120 members, up to 120 members. But you registered 160, but joined less than 120. So going for the online mode is no use, because if it is a physical mode, definitely you will get something. I have some satisfaction so that you are listening. But here I don't have a content how the students are responding to my class. It's fine. So hope you understand regression problem, classification problem, and coming to the clustering problem, grouping problem. So what is the example for the clustering problem or grouping problem? So clustering problem means, let us assume, please carefully observe here. Let us assume I am working as an operator in a electrical substation. Let us assume I am working as an operator in an electrical substation. My regular duty is in a day, we have the 24 hours, right? 1, 2, 3, and so on. We have the 24 hours. So my duty is every day, that means day 1, that means day 2, day 3, dates. For every day, I have to note it down what will be the load at each hour of the day. I have to note it down what will be the load at each hour of the day. So it is my responsibility. So every day I am taking an Excel sheet. I am entering the load at each hour of the day. I am entering the load at each hour of the day on an Excel sheet. But unfortunately, I forget to enter the date. Let us assume I forget to enter the date. Only I enter the load values on the Excel sheet. One fine day, that is after 6 or 7 months later, one fine day, my superior came and asked me, Mr. Venkatramana, what is the load pattern on weekdays, that means Monday to Saturday, and what is the load pattern on the weekends, on Sunday? I hope you understand, because the load patterns are not same both weekdays and weekends. Weekdays ante Monday to Sunday, colleges, offices అన్ని ఓపెన్ లో ఉంటాయన్నమాట. At that time రెసిడెన్షియల్ అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ లో పవర్ కన్సంప్షన్ తక్కువ ఉంటుంది, ఎందుకంటే అందరూ ఆఫీస్ లో ఉంటారు, రెసిడెన్షియల్ అపార్ట్మెంట్స్ లో ఉంటే చాలా తక్కువ మంది ఉంటారు కదా. సో దాన్ని ప్యాటర్న్స్ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటాయి అనమాట. వేరే వీకెండ్కి వచ్చినప్పటికీ ఆల్ ద కాలేజెస్ స్కూల్స్ అండ్ ఆఫీసెస్ ఆర్ షట్ డౌన్, అండ్ వేరే మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది పీపుల్స్ ఆర్ సిట్టింగ్ ఇన్ ద హౌసెస్. సో రెసిడెన్షియల్ కన్సంప్షన్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది వెన్ కంపేర్ టు ది కమర్షియల్ కన్సంప్షన్. సో డిఫరెంట్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ ఉంటాయి. బట్ అతను ఏమి అడిగారంటే, సో ఆ ప్యాటర్న్ ఎట్లా ఉందో చెప్పన్నాడు. నాకు తెలియదు, ఎందుకంటే ఐ ఫర్గెట్ టు ఎంటర్ ద డేట్స్. హియర్. నన్ను ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ 24 వాల్యూస్ మాత్రం, జస్ట్ ఐ ఎంటర్డ్ ఓన్లీ దీస్ 24 వాల్యూస్. జస్ట్ ఎంటర్ ద ఓన్లీ 24 values for each day, but I don't know which day it is. It is a weekend or weekday, I don't know. Hope you understand, right? But my supervisor asking, what are the weekend patterns and what are the weekdays patterns? I don't know. So what I will do? So I want to group it. So what all the samples over 6 months, all the samples, 6 months means, so every day 6 months means 6 into 30 days, let us do some 30, 31. And that is 180 days data is there. I want to group it. I want to separate it. And this is the loads during the weekend and these are the loads during the weekdays. So I want to group it. I want to separate it. I want to cluster it. So such type of problems are called as the clustering problem. In the clustering problem, hope you understand, right? Grouping. So how we will group based on its pattern, how it is patterns. Similar patterns will be in one group. Similar patterns will be divided into the two groups, grouping, weekdays and weekends. Hope you understand. Okay, so that is the example for the clustering problem. That is the example for the clustering problem. I hope you understand the classification of the real-time problems for which AI gives the solutions. Right now we will interact. I will ask some questions. Please respond. Actually, there is no power at my home right now. Now I will ask questions. You can use the chat box or mic. Now I'm asking the question. That means the questions will be like this in your certification examination. They will give the case study. You have to tell which. You have to give the answer. There are the multiple choices are there. You have to give the answer for that one. So the question is, students. Yeah. Let's assume you are working for XYZ company. For that XYZ company, the client is a electric power substation. The client is a NPDCL, Northern Power Distribution Company, or TSNPDCL, Telangana State Northern Power Distribution Company. So that is the client for your XYZ where you are working. Now the client gave a problem. The problem is they want to forecast the electric power load on the substation. They want to forecast the electric power load and ఎట్లా ఉంటుందంటే, so that may be a 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt, 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt, whatever it may be, they'll call load. అంటే మనము మన ఇంట్లో ఒక ఫ్యాన్ చూసుకొని అనుకున్నామా, the fan rating may be 1 kilowatt ఉందనుకోండి, that's the load. So ఒక ఫ్యాన్ ఆన్ చేసామంటే 1 kilowatt లోడ్ పెట్టేటట్లు. And if you take one tube light, it is a 40 watts load. ఒక tube light ఆన్ చేసామంటే 40 watts load is there on the substation. So like that, so they want to forecast the load on the substation based on some features, maybe based on previous usage, based on the day status, and based on the season status. So based on that, they want to forecast the load on the substation. Now tell me, this problem, which type of problem it is? It is a regression problem, or classification problem, or clustering problem? Yes, very perfect. So it is a regression problem, because the parameter which we are going to predict, which we are going to forecast, that is called as the electric power load. That load may be any value. That may be a 1 megawatt, 1.5 megawatt, 1.2 megawatt, 0.5 megawatt, 2 megawatt, and 1.5 megawatt, 5 megawatt, whatever it may be. It's a continuous number. So that's a regression problem. So first of all, you have to understand the case study. You have to understand the problem statement. You have to understand the business problem statement given by the client. And you have to analyze the problem statement, and you have to come to the conclusion which type of problem it is. After that, you can choose the proper machine learning model. That will be discussed later. First of all, you have to understand which type of problem it is. You have to know that one. Perfect. Very good. Very good. It is a regression problem. Now the second case study. So I told right yesterday, the day before yesterday also, the CoinNet application, CoinNet mobile application problem, CoinNet mobile application problem, to recognize or identify the Indian currency notes using a mobile application to help the visually impaired people. Right? We discussed earlier. So CoinNet is a mobile application which was developed by our people, our university, in collaboration with the Bennett University. So that mobile application main purpose is to help the visually impaired people to identify the currency notes. Now tell me, that project, that problem statement, it comes under which? It is a regression problem, or classification problem, or clustering problem? Yes, 510, perfect. It is a classification problem. Very good. It is a classification problem. There's minute, very minute thin difference between the clustering and classification. I will explain that also. But this problem, the project statement which I have given to you, it is a classification problem. Anyone can tell why it is a classification problem? Why you call it is a classification problem?
Because we are dividing the currency, whether it is fake or real.
Perfect. So we are dividing into multiple classes. How many classes will be there in the project? Maybe you have, yes, outputs are many. It may be a 10 rupee, 100 rupee, like that. Outputs are many. Very good. And how many classes are there? No, it's not about the Indian currency. I'm not. So that mobile application is not about it, the Indian currency or foreign currency. So that mobile application to help the visually impaired people, whether it is a, which note it is. It is a 10 rupee, 100 rupee, like that. Right? Hope you understand. Huh? So now tell me, friends, if it is a classification problem, I agree with you all. That CoinNet mobile application, that what we discussed in the earlier class, it is a classification problem. Again, I am asking, it is a multiple classification or binary classification? If it is clearly, so it is a multiple classification problem or binary classification problem. Perfect. It is 1005. You are perfect. Yes, 1041. It is a multiple classification problem. It is a multiple classification problem. Why it is a multiple classification problem? Why it is a multiple classification problem? Because we have the multiple classes. There is a multiple classes are there. We are yes. More than 2 classes. The multiple classes are there. So we have to identify that node belongs to which class. Okay, hope you understand. So very good. Now tell me, if the same project I'm giving to you, tell me how many classes will be there in that project? ఎన్ని క్లాసెస్ ఉంటాయమ్మా? సేమ్ ఇది ప్రాజెక్ట్ మీకు ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి అమ్మా, build a mobile application to recognize the Indian currency notes, then how many classes will be there? How many classes will be there? Multiple, yes, perfect. There's a multiple classes. How many? So problem is very clear, right, for you. So you have to work with the Indian currency to help the visually impaired people to recognize these currency notes. 5, I'm not sure. I think it is more. Think of it. Maybe you forget. So what are the 5? Tell me. 12, 5 or 6. What are they? Okay.
Number of currencies available into 2.
Perfect. That's not into 2. It is a 10 rupee note. That's one class. 20 rupee note, another class. 50, 100, 200, 500, and 2000. Total 7 classes are there. So you have to more clear about that one. And before demonetization, if someone gives the same project to you, it's not a 7 classes at that time. Maybe at the time, I'm not exactly sure. At that time, we have the 10 rupee, 20 rupee, no 200 and no 2000 at that time. But at the time, we have the 500,000. So the scenario will be changes, right? So at that time, your number of classes may be different. And if suppose some US company or US client or some German client asks to work in the same project, then definitely your number of classes will be changed. That is depending upon your study, your problem statement. I hope you understand, right? If I am asking you to work with the Indian currency note, then 7 classes. But if I'm asking you to work with some Sri Lankan currency or Pakistan currency or Bangladesh currency, then the number of classes will be changed. That is depending upon how many currency denominations are available in their country. Based on that one, the number of classes are changed. Perfect. It is a multiple classification problem. Very good, very good. Now, so another case study. Okay, another case study. Let's assume you are working for an XYZ company, and the company has a healthcare sector client, that is a MGM hospital, let's assume. And that MGM hospital gave a problem statement for an AI solution to your company. And the problem statement is your application is capable or able to diagnose. Your application is able to diagnose whether the patient has a sugar, that is a diabetic or not, based on some features. The feature, forget about the features. Okay, there are some input features are there. 1 to 10, some input features are there. So based on input features, your application is able to diagnose, you are able to predict whether that patient has a diabetic problem or not. Okay, if that is a problem statement given to your company and the company given to you, then this problem is a which type of problem? Is a regression problem or classification problem? Yes. Perfect. It's a classification problem and no, not clustering. Again, I'm telling. Okay, maybe someone confused about the clustering and classification. Maybe after clustering example, you will get some clarity. But it's a classification problem, and a classification problem, which type of classification it is? Multiple classification or binary classification? Yes, it is a binary classification. Your classes are only 2, either yes or no. You have the diabetic or not. That's it. Either 0 or 1, yes or no. Only two classes. Either 0 or 1, yes or no. That's it. So that's the concept of the binary classification problem. So that's the case study for the binary classification problem. Hope you understand, right? Perfect. Now, I want to go for some other application. Yeah, some other application, right? Now, same problem, same case study. That is, you are working for a XYZ company. You are working for a XYZ company, and your company has a client, again MGM hospital. Same problem. The problem given is you have to diagnose whether a person has a diabetic or not. Whether a person has a diabetic or not. So problem is very clear. You have to identify based on some input features. You want to identify whether a person has a diabetic or not. Now you go to the hospital and interact with the hospital management and interact with the doctors, you have to ask for the data. Because if you want to build a machine learning model, you require data. So మీరు వెళ్ళారు డేటాని తీసుకుని వచ్చారు. ఓకే, సో దోస్ పీపుల్స్ గివ్ ద డేటా. కానీ ఆ డేటాలో ఏముంది అంటే ఓన్లీ ఇన్పుట్ ఫీచర్స్ మాత్రమే ఉన్నాయి. ద డేటా కంటైన్స్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్పుట్ ఫీచర్స్. అంటే సో మేబీ సమ్ ఇన్పుట్స్ లైక్ maybe I'm not sure which have an impact on the diabetic. Maybe that is blood pressure and weight of the body weight and blood pressure and maybe some parameters are there. So those input parameters also they are given over the 1,000 samples of data they are given. So I will explain clearly in the whiteboard. That will be gives more clarity for you. Yeah. So you are working for XYZ company and your company's client is MGM. Okay, now MGM give a problem statement to you to diagnose the diabetic. Okay, so you understand that. So there is some features. So based on these features, you are going to predict whether the person has a diabetic or not. Adi vallu ichina problem kadamma. So now, so then you go to the hospital. Hospital vellaru, you met the hospital management and doctors. So they give the data because that is very mandatory for machine learning applications. So data is given. So data contains maybe body temperature and pulse rate and body weight and how much height it has and BMI index. So these are the some features. So for the different patients, different samples, over one first sample, second sample, third sample, up to 1,000 samples of data, they are provided. They are provided. Hope you understand. They are provided. Okay. So here, so different samples are there. The first sample, second sample, like that, different samples of data provided. But you don't know if these are the temperature is something, pulse rate is something, weight is something, height is something, BMI is something. So whether the person has a diabetic or not, the data, this column is missing. Whether the person has a diabetic or not, this column is missing here. అంటే ఇటువంటి సిమ్టమ్స్ ఉన్న వ్యక్తికి డయాబెటిక్ ఉందా లేదా, ఇటువంటి సిమ్టమ్స్ ఉన్న వ్యక్తికి డయాబెటిక్ ఉందా లేదా అనే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మాత్రం ఈ కాలం మనకు మిస్ అయిపోయింది. వాడు అవి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకి ఇవ్వలేదు. అంతే కదా, మనం ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం తీసుకున్నప్పుడు లాస్ట్లో ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి కదా, టార్గెట్ అనేది. సో బేస్ అప్పుడు మనం వాటిని ట్రైన్ చేస్తాం, మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ మోడల్ని ట్రైన్ చేయగలము. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఇన్పుట్ అండ్ దిస్ ద అవుట్పుట్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు ట్రైన్ ద మోడల్. అంటే ఈ విధంగా ప్యాటర్న్ ఉంటే సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద డయాబెటిక్, అండ్ ఈ విధంగా శాంపిల్స్ ఉంటే దిస్ నాట్ ఎ డయాబెటిక్ అనే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకు తెలియాలి ముందుగా. ఇచ్చిన మోడల్ బట్టి మనం ట్రైన్ చేస్తే తర్వాత న్యూ శాంపిల్స్ యాడ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఇట్ ఆటోమేటిక్లీ ప్రెడిక్టెడ్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ మిస్సింగ్ హియర్. సో ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లా మరి వితౌట్ లేబులింగ్ హౌ యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ప్రిడిక్ట్ వెదర్ హీ హ్యాస్ ఎ డయాబెటిక్ ఆర్ నాట్? హోప్ యు అండర్స్టాండ్. Then what he is doing is, so now, so which what now what we have to do, all these 1,000 samples you have to split into two groups. You have to split into two groups. So all these 1,000 samples you have to split into two groups. You have to split into two groups. One group may be corresponding to the diabetic, another group is maybe corresponding to the diabetic, because you don't know 1 and 0 in the last column. So you have to know which samples may be coming to the diabetic, which samples may be coming to the diabetic. You have to group the samples. All the 1,000 samples, you have to group 500, 600, 700 samples for one group and another samples for the another. Two groups means maybe one group is corresponding to the S, another group is corresponding to the 0. Now, if that is the case, so what will be the problem statement? So clustering, yes, it is the clustering. Screen not shared. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So looks battery running low and no power here. At any time it may be disconnected. So maybe it is okay. We have 10 more minutes. Hope it will work. Yeah, it is a clustering problem. It is a clustering problem. Hope you understand, right? So ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పిన అనాలిసిస్ అంతా బేస్ చేసుకొని ఎవరైనా కంక్లూడ్ చేయగలరమ్మా బైనరీ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ కి ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పిన క్లస్టరింగ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కి మెయిన్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఏముంటుందో? ఎనీవన్ కెన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్. సార్ మీరు అక్కడ అదే ప్రాజెక్ట్ చెప్పారు, ఇక్కడ అదే ప్రాజెక్ట్ చెప్పారు, అక్కడ కూడా డయాబెటిక్ ప్రిడిక్షన్, ఇక్కడ కూడా డయాబెటిక్ ప్రిడిక్షన్ కదా సార్, ఏంటి డిఫరెన్స్ మీకు ఏమైనా అర్థమవుతుందా? What is the difference here? Why it is a clustering and this one is a binary classification? Anyone tell? Just think of it. మీరు clustering చెప్పారు నా very good clustering. I am very happy. So why it is a clustering? Yes, outputs are different. Someone target are different. Perfect. Define clustering. Very good. 1016. You are perfect. Target not defined in the clustering. Perfect. Same problem, Amma. So here, if the target is defined, the target column is defined, then it comes under the classification problem. If your target column contains 0 and 1, only 0 and 1, then it is called as the binary classification. If your target contains multiple classes, then it is a multiple classification problem. But if the target column is itself not available, if the target column itself is not available, you have to group it to make the target column. Then it is called as a clustering problem. In a clustering problem, the target variable is absent. That 1016 is responded, it is right. So clearly understand, in a clustering problem, no targets are available. You have to group it. Whereas in case of the classification problem, in case of the regression problem, targets are available. So very clearly understand, you will get this type of questions. So in a clustering problem, target is not available, whereas in case of the regression problem, that means temperature prediction, wind prediction, the target column is available. It is a 23 degrees centigrade, 24 degrees centigrade, 25 degrees centigrade, the target columns are available. But whereas in case of the clustering problem, the target columns are not available. So that is the basic difference between the clustering problem and the classification problem. Okay. So this is the classification or categorization of the various real-time problems for which AI can give a solution. So this is only classification of the problems, real-time problems. So for each problem, which type of machine learning algorithms are required, which type of machine learning models are required, that we are going to discuss now. Just till now, sir, how much time will be provided for a practice exam and how many questions will be? Yeah, it is a practice examination. In practice examination, don't bother about it. I will give maybe 5 to 6 hours time for you. Whenever you have free, you can write the examination. So it is in Canvas, so you can open it and you can write the practice test examination. But this examination is allowed to only that 165 students. Anyone can join in this class, but that is not available. I will add only that 165 students into the Canvas. For that students only can write the practice test examinations. Mostly practice test examinations, mostly. So maybe battery, maybe it's a low, it may be shut down.